Hello everyone, I welcome you all once again to my channel. As I have said before in my previous video as well, the next video is going to be on revision strategy. And I feel revision strategy is very important in the process because all these years of hard work were basically for the revision to be put into those 3 months of the last 3 months of your preparation, the last 15 days or last 10 days of your preparation. But actually, it has to be much more concised, so beautifully presented that the maximum input वाली जो चीज़ें हैं वो तुमको last 10 to 15 days में पता चल जाए. And this video is purely dedicated to it. So the first question that arises in the mind is that since we have a span of around 3 months, so how many revisions should we go about? So it's three revisions according to me, which should be planned in the span. Well, personally, someone would have asked me before. I would have said ki I would have gone with that monthly strategy that in 1 month I'll do one revision, the second month second revision, and the third month third revision. This is one of the students who commented me in the comments that I'm thinking for about 45 days, 30 days, and 15 days strategy for going about revision. And I felt that this was very good in the sense that 45 days mein you'll have a very good looking at all the subjects in a kind of depth manner per se. And then after once you have gone through that subject in 45 days time only, then next second period jab aayega tumhara of 30 days, you'll be a little fast, and so you'll be able to complete that appropriate enough with that depth only. You'll be able to complete it in 30 days time, and the last 15 days time it's definitely only the important things to be done. So I feel the 45, 30 days and the 15 days mein division of time is very important, is a very good strategy to go with as far as planning the number of revisions in this particular span of time. The second thing that badges is how to go about doing the revision, because revision is very important, that differs from a person to person. And my personal way of thinking towards it is basically that more the number of revision, better is the retention, rather than a single revision for a prolonged period of time. And this specifically suits to the scenario where we have 19 subjects to cover up, and then remembering those 19 subjects, those PYQs, those important topics, those if and buts around the topics, it becomes really crucial to have multiple revisions so that the retention is much enough for you to retain things on the day of examination as well, right? So what I personally suggest, for example, अगर हम medicine पढ़ रहे हैं, so what I used to do, I just enacted myself into your position, that if I have 3 months ka time for doing this NEET PG revision, what I would have done. So I would have first started with PYQs only. I would have first gone through all the PYQs. For example, medicine is that kind of subject which badgers a lot to the students because it's a very vast subject, has so many number of things to include, and it becomes really difficult to actually revise it in a span of like even 10 days, I feel, because there's so much to think about, right? So if I start with medicine only, agar medicine as a subject se hum shuru karte hain, to I'll dedicate my 4 to 5 days first in looking for the PYQs and FMGK PYQs included. And this time it's not the INIK PYQs. I would have gone with FMGEK PYQs and the INIK PYQs. Sorry, not the INI, the FMGK PYQs and the NEET K PYQs. Once I've done those PYQs, I would have ticked at the simultaneously at the same time. I would have ticked all those things into my major notebook. That is my revision notes. And I hope you all must be having your revision notes to go with. See, so you'll be including those topics which you found out in your PYQs of the NEET and the FMGE, and I would have ticked that up, right? The second thing that I would have done is dividing the number of days given to each subject. For example, medicine to lag raha hai ki bahut bada hai, so I would have dedicated like 7 days, theek hai? Surgery I would have dedicated 4 days, OBGY again 4 days, peds का I would have given 2 to 3 days, anatomy again 4 days, pharmac 4 days. ऐसे करके तुम डिवाइड कर लो, ठीक है, 45 डेज के टाइम पीरियड में. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल अब साइकी मुझे पूछा जाएगा, या फिर anesthesia is given to me. I know that psych and anesthesia can be completed in a single day, so I don't need much more time to give to those subjects, right? Even talking about biochemistry was my very favorite subject and I was very good at it. So biochemistry was something that I used to complete in a period of 1.5 days, like done. Physio was also a very good subject, very concise subject. Division notes se karoge, you'll be able to complete in that span of like 4 to 5 hours if you sit down consistently. And sitting down consistently is very important. Like this is the time, this is the span of time where you have to invest 8 to 10 hours a day so that you'll be able to fruitfully revise your things, right? So you need to first dedicate your time. And see, I'm not trying to give you a dedicated time because I feel that everyone has different weak subjects, right? For example, I had biochemistry really good, I had anatomy really good, I had pharmac really bad, I was not good at OBGY, I was not good at surgery, opthal. These were the subjects I'm not really good at. Even medicine was something that I was not really good at. So those were the subjects which I used to give more time as compared to, giving it to biochemistry or some subjects which I'm very good at, right? So you have to dedicate your time according to that. Just sit down, 1 घंटे बैठ जाओ, just stipulate your time कि कौन से सब्जेक्ट में मुझे कितना टाइम लगेगा, and that too in a span of 45 days only. ठीक है? And this time you will be giving attention to medicine as a whole, right? The second time of revision, that is the second slot of 30 days. Now तुम्हारे मेडिसिन का टाइम कम हो जाना चाहिए, सर्जरी, OBGY जितनों को तुमने जितना टाइम दिया था. For example, if I given 4 days, now I'll be trying to complete it in 2.5 to 3 days basically, right? So it will be able to complete in 30 days के span of time. And also this time now you have to start marking. फर्स्ट विजिट में जब तुमने फर्स्ट रिविजन किया था तब तुमने जस्ट मार्क कर दिया था कि ठीक है, दीज आर द इंपॉर्टेंट PYQs and these are the things which I have to read about, and that you must have read, and also you have included those things which are not important at part. But this time, in the second revision of the 30 days ka set, I would like you to just mark it down everything. Ki, okay, this is the most important thing. This was a PYQ. This was asked. And PYQs maybe I usually I used to do. Ki kuch PYQs I was sure ki theek hai, I'll read it off and I'll just take a screenshot and make a PDF, and I was doing all those stuffs. But kuch PYQs I used to write it down. I felt ki this was just a minor mistake and I just left a certain kind of buzzword and I don't need to include it as a stuff particularly. So I used to include it in my revision notes के कोने में या sticky notes लगा दिए where I feel कि yeah, I would have, जब मैं revision कर रही होंगी तो मैं उधर देखूंगी सही, and just stick it there so that नेक्स्ट टाइम जब तुम आओ तो तुम उस चीज़ को वहीं के वहीं रिवाइज कर लो, एंड यू डोंट नीड टू इंक्रीज द नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस इन योर सॉफ्ट कॉपी एज वेल, क्योंकि ऐसा करते जाओगे तो 2-3 हज़ार क्वेश्चन हो जाएंगे, विच आई फेल्ट दैट आई हैड 2000-3000 क्वेश्चंस, एंड मैंने ऐसे ऐसे करके ही डिडक्ट किए थे उनको कि ओके आई इंक्लूडेड इन द स्टिकी कॉपी, या फिर कुछ एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट्स जो होंगे वो मैं नोट्स में ही लिख दूंगी, सो दैट आई डोंट इंक्रीज द नंबर ऑफ द questions per se that I have to look again as part of my PYQ PDF book, right? Now, when you skip to the third part of the revision, that is the 15 days का सेट, अब तो तुम्हें क्लियर होना जाना चाहिए कि मेडिसिन को सिर्फ तुम 1 से 2 दिन दोगे या फिर मेडिसिन को 2 ही मत, बट आई वुड से कि 1 से 2 दिन दो, बिकॉज तुमने ऑलरेडी अब PYQs मार्क कर रखी होंगी, तो यू नो दैट दीज आर द सेट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट आई हैव टू गो थ्रू, राइट? तो तुम मेडिसिन को वो चीज़ करोगे. सिमिलरली तुम्हें सर्जरी, OBGY, इन सब में भी ऐसे ही करना है. नाउ सी, OBGY is such a kind of subject जिसमें I don't think you have something called as PYQs, because OBGY is a very very crucial subject in terms of NEET as well as INICET. खुद पूरा subject isolated, it has no correlation with any other subjects, and it is maximum yielding, and questions mostly उल्टे सीधे नहीं पूछे जाते हैं OBGY में. यू यूजुअली हैव दोज काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस जो हमारे नेट्स में, जो हमारे बुक्स में ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट होता है. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द फायदा दैट OBGY गिव्स अस कि all the things are there in the notes, just go through your notes repeatedly so that you get a hold over it, right? And then now what you have to do कि जब तुम फर्स्ट रीडिंग और सेकंड रीडिंग कर रहे थे, दैट इज इन द 45 डेज का पीरियड एंड 30 डेज का पीरियड, तब तुम्हें फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड ईयर को सब्जेक्ट्स को भी उतना ही इंपॉर्टेंस देना है और अच्छा इंपॉर्टेंस देना है. बट जब तुम ये 15 डेज के पीरियड में आ जाओगे और तुम्हें 19 सब्जेक्ट्स रिवाइज करना इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट, इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. व्हेन आई से इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट, इवन व्हेन आई डिड इट आई यूज्ड टू फील इट कि लाइक नहीं हो पाएगा, एंड इवेंचुअली आई रिमेंबर कि मैंने 1-2 सब्जेक्ट्स छोड़ भी दिए थे, एंड दैट वाज फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड ईयर सब्जेक्ट्स जो मैंने छोड़े थे कि ठीक है यार अब नहीं कर पाऊंगी. लाइक आई रिमेंबर एज फार एज मैंने बायोकेमिस्ट्री छोड़ दी थी, मैंने फिजियो छोड़ दी थी कि ठीक है अब देख लिया जाएगा. सो लास्ट 15 डेज में तुम्हारा कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ फाइनल ईयर एंड थर्ड ईयर के सब्जेक्ट्स में ही होगा, बिकॉज एज आई ऑलरेडी रिट्रेटेड दिस फैक्ट मेनी योर टाइम्स कि INICET इज मोर प्रोन टुवर्ड्स द फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड ईयर सब्जेक्ट्स, बट नीट इज मोर इंक्लाइन टुवर्ड्स द थर्ड एंड द फोर्थ ईयर सब्जेक्ट्स. तो ये तुम्हें ध्यान रखना है कि जब तुम लास्ट टाइम रिवाइज कर रहे होगे तो तब तुम्हें थर्ड एंड फोर्थ ईयर सब्जेक्ट से ही शुरू करना है कि दिस शुड बी ऑन योर टिप्स. एंड उसके बाद जो बचा टाइम है, जैसे बचा टाइम होगा, जैसे कि तुम्हें एनाट करना है, फिजियो करना है, बायोकेम करना है, विच आर इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट्स, या फार्मैक करना है, माइक्रो करना, जैसे एनाट, बायोकेम, फार्मैक, माइक्रो, पैथो, दीज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दीज प्ले अ क्रूशियल रोल एज फार एज तुम्हें मेडिसिन के क्वेश्चंस करने होंगे या कुछ भी करने होंगे. तुम उनको इम्पोर्टेंस दो। और फिर जो छोटे-छोटे सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं जैसे एनेस्थेशिया, तुम्हें पता है कि हर बार मैं पल्स एंड सर्किट ही पूछ रहे तो क्यों खामखा वेस्ट करना है टाइम, या फिर कुछ अलबेला पूछते हैं तो दैट इज़ नॉट इन आवर कंट्रोल। जस्ट डोंट थिंक अबाउट अलबेला थिंग्स एट ऑल एट दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट और एट दिस पर्टिकुलर जंक्चर। हमें सिर्फ वही चीज़ों पे ध्यान देना है व्हिच आर पार्ट ऑफ पीवाईक्यूज़, व्हिच आर देयर इन माय रिविजन नोट्स। आई वोंट लुक एट एनी अदर थिंग। एंड दिस इज़ आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज़ 3 महीने का टाइम you'll feel like I तो have done revisions, I know things, and even eventually if you have given Inicet you'll feel like कि अभी तो रिविजन किया है, I won't have forgotten things, कर लेंगे 2 बार रिविजन, अभी तो सिर्फ नई-नई चीज़ों पे ध्यान दें। Don't focus on such things. You know, boring consistency is a very important tool into the process. It is the boring consistency that makes a topper segregated from a mediocre, and someone from a mediocre segregated from someone who's a failure. And this is a true fact. There's nothing something called secret that works for us and we have hidden it out of you. एंड साइमल्टेनियसली जब तुम ये सारी रिविजन प्रोसेस कर रहे होगे, तुम्हें पीवाईक्यूज पे अच्छे से ध्यान देना है, ठीक है, अपनी मेंटल हेल्थ का ख्याल रखना है, डू नॉट पैनिक आउट ऑफ इट, राइट? एंड आई फील just try to see your physiological needs and your mental needs corroborating with each other. This is very important because तुम मेरा सुनोगे, तुम किसी दूसरे इंसान को सुनोगे, हमारे स्ट्रैटेजीज में बहुत डिफरेंस होगा बिकॉज हम दो डिफरेंट इंडिविजुअल्स हैं, राइट? So just try to see what your physiological needs are saying, that okay, if I will be able to do it in this particular span of time, just do it in that span of time because that's your needs, that's your mental capability, that's your point of subject which is stronger or weaker, right? अब जब पीवाईक्यूज की बात आती है तो मुझे ये भी क्वेश्चन बहुत बार पूछा गया कि मैम रिवीजन भी करना है, पीवाईक्यू भी सॉल्व करना है, इट्स टर्निंग आउट वेरी डिफिकल्ट, जीटी भी देना है, टाइम ही नहीं मिल रहा है। आई अंडरस्टैंड दोज थिंग्स बट सी दिस इज द टाइम जब तुम्हें बहुत ही हासिल करना होगा। दिस इज द टाइम जब बहुत बर्नआउट फील होगा, बस मन करेगा कि यार बस करो, आई एम done lot of revisions, I'm getting exhausted, I won't be able to revise this much again and again, I remember the facts, but when you give the GTs you'll feel like, oh, I'm not getting the amount of corrects I'm really expecting. As far as the number of revisions I have done, I would have gotten something into 150 160 corrects, but I'm not getting it. That's because the more and more revisions the better your retention power is. Like once or twice a revision doesn't yield much, and मल्टीपल एमसीक्यू प्रैक्टिस एवरी डे इज द की टू सक्सेस। लाइक अगर मुझे कोई आज एमसीक्यूज दे देगा तो मुझे भी नहीं आएंगे उतने ढंग से बिकॉज once you are in practice that's a good way of dealing with those stuffs, right? एंड रिगार्डिंग जीटीज, मैंने तुम्हें पहले भी कहा है कि जीटीज को तुम्हें वंस अ वीकली तो देना ही है, रिविजन करना ही है, हर रोज 100 एमसीक्यू सॉल्व करना ही है, 50 पीवाईक्यूज एंड 50 जो तुम्हें ऑल टैग्स के साथ मैंने बोला है वो करना ही है। एंड आई फील this is a good revision strategy. And one more thing I wanted to tell, that क्योंकि span बहुत लंबा है, people get really exhausted. I have seen people who are really good and get exhausted and just totally turn out to be from this to this. Just don't do that thing. I have my friends who were really good, were scoring 160, 170 corrects, landed up into 140, 150, 155 corrects at 9,000, 10,000 rank, who were really deserving to be under 2,000 and 3,000. That's just because of the exhaustion. तुम्हें अपने आप को सिर्फ बोलना है कि लास्ट टाइम बस खुद को खींचना है 3 बार। एंड यू विल फील दिस व्हेन आई एम सेइंग दिस ना, जब तीसरी बार रिविजन करने बैठोगे ना तुम्हें पता चलेगा भाई बहुत टफ प्रोसेस है, इट्स वेरी बैड बोरिंग कंसिस्टेंसी दैट यू हैव टू गो विथ every single day until the last day. The last day you'll feel like thank god it has come, I'm done with the process, and you'll be relieved कि okay, what else things I have to do I have already done, and अब जो होगा देखा जाएगा। And the last most important thing that I would like to address is please keep yourself away from all the distractions right now. It is very important. तुम एक चीज समझो कि अगर ये एग्जाम नहीं निकली, I am not kind of trying to correlate that this examination is the only examination existent on this earth which is necessary for your survival. But if you're competent enough to get a seat through this examination, then why not? Why any third factor should be introduced or should hinder your performance, right? Please stay away from all kinds of distractions. And I know and I hope that you understand what all distractions I'm talking about. This is a very bad phase. You know, the distractions would pull you off your rank, your marks, your everything. You need to understand and prioritize your things right now. Just please don't fall for it. All the very best. And if I'm not addressed any of the revision strategy that you might or that you would like to know, just please do comment me and I'll surely reply that. So, all the very best. Thank you.